Derry, a particularly insidious place. This is Derry, Maine, I'm talking about, the home of Stephen King's fictional work. And this place is literally a breathing, living embodiment of repression, denial, and generational rot on levels I don't think we've ever seen. There is a complete psychosis that has encompassed nearly every single component and person within this town. Derry itself isn't just haunted, right? It is complicit. Now, there is an evil that resides there in Derry. This is very clear. Now, but this evil is being fed, and this evil itself manifests as Pennywise or sometimes this unseen psychic effect. But it is maintained by the citizens, like willful blindness to the fact this evil is there. So Derry runs on this collective loop of repression. Something horrific happens, like a child get murdered, there's a hate crime, massive different disappearances. People look away. And here's the thing in Derry, this is what's really important. They don't just ignore it, they're able to erase it. Like the collective memory of Derry is volatile, right? They will forget anything. No one else remembers it. So sometimes like the overall group dynamic is that they forget, and you get pockets like someone remembers their brother. So they're kind of more tormented by it because nothing ever happened. No one ever looked for it. They just like, yeah, whatever. And you go on with life in the small town. So like what Stephen King has given us is this reflection of small town life and culture where it covers up, real like dysfunction is covered up with politeness, PTA meetings, smiles. Like there's this Norman Rockwell veneer, and then there's rot beneath this. And because the human mind can only hold so much, they start to become emotionally numb. Well, the evil that sits underneath there, and let's be clear, there is a supernatural evil connected to this small town. It's not recognized, it's operating all the time. Right, this corruption, this is why the citizens go and do a lot of the things they do, because this corruption is permeating almost every part of the area, and you see it in all its behavior. But to them, it's become so normalized that they don't, they're walking in this haze of constantly being under this psychological predation. Like something is constantly after them, but they can never just stop and take a look at it because of their ability to just wipe the stuff away. So they're kind of the conspirators in their own nightmare. The denial actually feeds the things that are beneath the sewers. So we kind of have to look at Derry as this metaphor for the subconscious. Like Pennywise is the id. He's primal fear, hunger, rage, while the townspeople repress the ego's coping mechanisms. And this projects like normalcy to hide this monstrous truth that lies beneath them. So living here is like living inside of a nightmare where the whole town is in group therapy, but nobody will talk about it. Nobody will say exactly why they're there or what happened. So it's always this vague notion of never dealing with their issues. And what they're doing is very much generational. They're taking this horror that they're forgetting, and it happens again, and they forget. And this is not random. This is a built-in defense mechanism that like mentally something bad happens, they wipe it clean because they can't deal with it. They don't want to deal with any part of it. So this is what Derry is, and it buries its history of racism, abuse, like environmental disasters, all kinds of crazy stuff that jumped off here. I don't know why they don't put it together, but it's a microcosm for an American town that forgets its atrocities rather than healing from them. So this is what Derry is. All these things happen, you look the other way, it sits in, it seeps in the rot, and then it manifests itself as something far greater than or far worse than you ever would have thought. So this is kind of the psychology of it. This is the psychology of evil in this emotional landscape. You find these pockets of like guilt and rage and indifference, and they're all functioning together like one big collective dark brain. People who leave this city, they feel better. They feel lighter, they feel freer because they've escaped this psychic network. But those who stay most of the time become desensitized or corrupted by it. The ones who resist, the losers club, they represent rare psychological outliers. Like these guys are mental warriors comparison to what they do, and they kind of acknowledge it in their last battle against Pennywise. They have this emotional integrity that's strong enough to confront this collective delusions, and they're the only ones. But that confrontation, man, just in itself, emotionally, takes everything from them. They were sacrificing memories. They were sacrificing their childhood. In some cases, their sanity. So, man, I'm telling you, man, at all costs, avoid Derry. It's like, this is like the small town. Like, I don't know if it's a sundown or what. But get up out of Derry if you're ever there. Dude, spend no time in the city. I don't care. Don't even stop there for gas. If you can pass here, get gas, you'd be better stopping off at wherever them children on the corner are living at than this place here, right? That's really what you got to look for. So that's my thoughts on Derry. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if there's other cities or, locations that you want to do a deeper dive into.